come Wednesday, it is the official end of Donald Trump's presidency. The president will be in Florida Wednesday morning because apparently he wants to fly an Air Force One last time and is supposedly unwilling to ask Biden if he could borrow the plane. Maybe Trump just doesn't have the frequent flyer miles. I don't know. But either way, Trump is gone come Wednesday. But even after he's been banned on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, make no mistake, Trump isn't going anywhere. He won't officially be an official anymore, but the Trumps are here to stay by and large. In an article in Politico, where they were looking at Ivanka's potential political future, she is considering running for Marco Rubio's Senate seat in 2022. Though they could just be trying to make sure Rubio votes a certain way on the impeachment vote. Not entirely sure, but we'll just have to wait and see. Also, Don Jr. is supposedly looking to run for mayor in New York City, though Donald Sr. apparently doesn't think that's a good idea, which is a hilarious headline, and I did not believe it until I actually pulled up the article here. But yeah, apparently Trump says Don Jr. wouldn't have a chance running for NYC mayor. And of course, there's no word yet on if Barron is running for class president. But apparently politics is now the Trump family business. And if maybe you got a glimmer of hope that Trump would be out after the Capitol storming, well, I want you to take a quick look at this. So, let's see if I could pull it up here. All right, this is coming from the Pew Research Center. And a majority of Americans do not want Trump to remain a major political figure after the storming of the Capitol. Now, this was taken right after the Capitol was stormed. And a lot of it was actually one of Trump's, he had one of his lowest approval ratings that he's ever had in his entire presidency. I'm not sure if it elicited in this Pew Research article, but at the lowest I saw with support overall was, I think, about 29%, which is the lowest of Trump's presidency by far. But as things often do in politics, the pendulum may have shifted.
And our new NBC News poll of registered voters has the president's approval rating holding steady at 43%, with 55% disapproving. It's more or less where his numbers have been throughout most of his presidency in our poll.
So yes, Trump has been impeached twice, but unless he's convicted in the Senate, which seems less likely with each passing day, Trump is not going to be barred from holding federal office in the future. And as Trump was supposedly going to announce his candidacy for 2024 right after he left office, really on Inauguration Day to try to, again, steal some thunder from Joe Biden. But he was talked out of it because he'd have to file paperwork. So unfortunately, Trumpism is here to stay. But what do you think, Taylor? You think the Trumps are going to be around for a lot longer?
Yeah, I mean, it really sounds like Donald's going to vote for Andrew Yang over his son in the mayoral race.
I know, which is like, look, I've seen this kind of come up here and there, and there's like hilarious videos where it's like, Don Jr. seems like he's let down a little bit by the father figure there, and I haven't really wanted to report on it because I just feel like it's mean. But it's like he's his own dad's like, no, you shouldn't run in this race.
Not just you shouldn't run, saying he would straight up lose. I mean, you got to feel sorry for people trying to write satire in the middle of this. I mean, it reads like an Onion headline. It's no, he didn't have to take that shot at him.
I know, really. I'm just like, yeah, shots fired. Like, what? I just picture Don Jr. just like getting his Twitter blown up and someone saying, "Oh, that's fake news. Dad would never say that." And then, oh,
yeah. Well, I mean, I'd seen the Ivanka thing, thinking like, "Oh no, we're gonna lose America's least useful senator." Marco Rubio. That took him like literally years to get a totally inconsequential bill with his name on it passed. And he only did that after people started, remarking on the fact that he'd been in the Senate for years and never got anything passed. But it is interesting, the point you brought up that maybe they're looking to, threaten Rubio with a run in order to secure his vote. I hadn't thought of that. I mean, I think it's a plausible theory.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's one of those things. Like, obviously, they're just going after Rubio, and they are, they haven't really. I mean, obviously, there's only so many Trump kids. You can't just have them run for Senate everywhere. But I think that's pretty plausible.
I mean, there's a bunch of them,
and I think they are. Well, there are quite a few. But yeah, I think they're just kind of reminding the Republican Party, who's really like in control, by floating the idea or the possibility that Ivanka will run in Florida. And honestly, I think if she were to run, she'd probably win that race like hands down. But again, I think they're just not. They're either doing one of two things. They're trying to avoid announcing now because obviously, if you announce you're running, then you have to do all kinds of paperwork. There's a lot that kind of goes. If you can't just say I'm running for president and like, okay, we actually have to do things to do that. Running for Senate.
Yeah, as we found out last time. Yeah,
exactly. And I think they're just trying to flex their muscle. And Marco Rubio, who seemed very much like he was in favor of impeachment, he seems like he's kind of scaled that back down a little bit. So I've kind of just reading between the weeds there.
Yeah. It seemed like he was finding a spine for a brief second there, and then now maybe it's more the Homer going back into the bushes gift. Yeah, I mean, let's be real. Marco Rubio is an empty suit. The guy's not a real senator. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, him losing, it's not like it'd be a great loss, but yeah, I don't think that's a real challenge on either one. I don't think we're really going to see Ivanka running for Senate. I don't think we're really going to see Don Jr. running for mayor. But I mean, what do I know? I mean, I wouldn't have called Trump winning the presidency. So
me neither. I mean, I thought there was absolutely no way he would win, and now we actually have a QAnon supporter in Congress from the great state of Florida. So I think at this point it's a done deal. And I think that Trump by and large he's not going anywhere. Like he's off all these apps. He's lost his megaphone, and he will once he's. I mean, people complain about censorship and Parler and all this stuff, but he can call down the White House press corps anytime he wants to. I mean, as the president of the United States, he has the biggest megaphone in the world. But afterwards, he's going to lose that. But I still think, by and large, Trump's going to be around.
Yeah, I mean, well, the whole censorship stuff. I mean, we've talked about this. The Q Congresswoman, with her censored mask, speaking on national television in the middle of the U.S. Capitol. It's like saying we're being censored because we can't go do that. It's like, well, I mean, we didn't run for office. We didn't,
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
Key thing though, you didn't, if you did want to talk in Congress, you gotta get the votes and you gotta win an election. You can't just go into the place and jump on the microphone. That is not legal. Let's not have that happen.
Right. Turns out, they don't like it when you do that.
No.
Who would have guessed?
Who would have thought? Who would have thought, Kelly? But yeah. As far as I know, Trump is here to stay, for sure. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for watching Citizen Pete. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, click that little subscribe button, maybe the like button, and hey, maybe, just leave a comment. I want to know what you're thinking. What do you think about all the politics and news and all the stuff that's going on in our country?